Heck yeah. Step on down.
Man. So my sales process looks like we get on discovery call to see if it's a good match or not. So there's
So which version of remind me again?
I'm sorry, I'm on Max, not Classic.
You're on the Max, okay. So
Pro Max.
all right, so we'll just scroll down here, delete this extra sequence we don't need right now. So your whole kind of process is when we get onto this discovery call, right?
Right.
So we've completed this discovery call.
Yep.
And then based off the discovery call, there's going to be some dispositions that happen off of that, right?
Right.
Are you documenting your discovery call right now?
I am in their contact record.
Beautiful. So we actually in this one can even isolate to that internal form, right?
Yep.
So based off of that, how many different types of follow-ups could happen from that discovery call?
So it could be not a good fit. It could be a not yet. It could be a I got questions, so handling some objection handling. And then hell yeah, send me an invoice.
All right.
So it's the 4, right?
Right. So let's go. Need more time and kind of like a not a what was the
not a good fit. Not a good fit. So I would just continue to nurture them in my Facebook group until they're this tall and they can ride the ride.
Right, until they're good to go.
Yeah.
So, but you had kind of like a delineation between your like needs more time and needs more educate step. What was that? What was that?
Oh, it was the other one was objection handling. So they're like, yes, it's a priority. Yes, this sounds great, but husband, spouse, time investment. So it's more education on why they should do it ASAP. If not today, then certainly ASAP. Or what can I do to help them get the money rolling in so that they can afford to level up?
Absolutely. Awesome. So based off of that submission, how are you currently documenting those next steps? Are you using a tag? Have you set up a custom field?
It's currently it's not a tag because it's I'm not having enough sales conversations, if you will, to automate that piece, but that's a great idea. I will start making that.
So let's talk about how that, because we don't have to make it super intense, right?
Right.
So just like in Keap Max Classic, there's the ability for order forms here in Pro, and that's what we're working on here. Within the goal, we're going to set this to be an internal form. We would select whichever internal form Kathy would be utilizing at that point in time. We're just going to mess with one here, right? When we go to get into that internal form, it's going to let us edit it, right? When we click the edit button. And inside of here, what we're going to want to do is create some type of field to quantify those follow-ups, right?
Right.
What's cool here is we're not compelled to make a custom field for this. We can use a virtual field in tags because this is an internal form. This is us, right?
Right.
So how do we do that? Within the add a field, when you scroll all the way to the very bottom, you're going to see these form fields, okay? These form fields are the different ways that we can have the information be presented on the form for us to select. So if we only want it to be one option, that could be something like a select drop down, right? Where it's a drop down menu. You have to pick from one of these, right?
Right.
If there's not a lot of those to pick from, you can minimize it into like a radio, right? So that way it's just a little radio field. But if there's multiples, that would be your check boxes. Okay, because those check boxes would allow you to pick, which ones would make sense for that person, allowing those data points to be seen in Keap.
I've been moving them. So I create deal cards and then I have the different stages. So the not yet, need more time, or the FAQs, that's where I put them.
Right.
As opposed
to that. I think these would be the 4, right?
Yeah.
Like let's go the top option, needs more time.
Right.
Handling, right? Objection
handling, and then not a good fit yet.
So when we create this,
but that's a custom field, right? So it's still count against the custom
field, a form field, if you will.
It's a form field, but does it count against, because we're only allowed so many custom fields?
It does not count against your custom fields at all, right?
Dude, how was and I'm even, okay, great. I will
sweet,
put
right?
that on Keaps.
Yeah, Absolutely. And you can use these different form fields in different capacities. They also exist on landing pages.
Oh my God, mind blown.
So
Okay.
it's just not like right here, this is the only spot, we have to kind of look for them. On web forms are a little bit more difficult,
Yeah.
but they exist there as well, right? What's
Right.
cool about the web forms and the landing page versions is that we can automatically tag off of them. That's a really cool benefit. Here with the internal form, we would have to tag in the sequence, which we'll talk about here in a moment, okay?
Okay. Okay.
But once you decide on what steps you're gonna want to have on that, and you'll see it over here on the right hand side as your options.
Makes it easy, super easy.
Super easy. Now, obviously, you got to save and publish for that to become live, right? But back here in the campaign, this decision diamond that popped up when we connected this goal to the multiple sequences can now reference that form field,
Okay.
right? So when we go into the decision diamond, when we add a rule, we can say if the form submission, because that's the internal form, please select next steps, which is what we made, right? Is let's go, because we're in the let's go sequence. That's where these contacts are going to go. So if you selected let's go, they go to let's go.
Yeah.
And we would just make those rules for all of these different options, right?
Right.
As you go through that logic, if you ever have any questions on, oh, how's this going to work? They built in a little testing function here underneath the actions button up here in the top right-hand corner. This will allow you to actually pull it up and see how it'll work, right? What happens if I select let's go? Oh, right now they'll go to let's go. And these ones, because we haven't put any rules into them yet, right?
Oh yeah, because it defaults to. Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.